Hello, so today I'm looking at M3 International A-Level, May 2015. This is question 3, and I can see that this is testing me on variable acceleration. So it says at time t equals 0, a particle p is at the origin, moving with speed 8 in the positive x direction. At time t seconds, the acceleration of p has this magnitude, and I can see it depends on t, and is directed towards O. Show that at time t, the velocity of p will be this. So if they are asking me for the relationship between the velocity and the time, then here we always have the choice. Acceleration is dv by dt or v dv by dx. And I can see in this case I should probably be using this one here so that I can get the relationship between v and t. So they told me the acceleration is this, so I can write dv by dt is equal to this thing. So I have 2t plus 4 to the negative a half. Now I just need to be a little bit careful here because it did say that it was directed towards O. So this means that this will be negative. If it was directed away from O, then it would be positive. Okay, so now to work out the velocity, I need to separate and integrate. So on the left-hand side, I will end up with the integral of dv. On the right-hand side, this is just a constant, so I can stick that out of the way and integrate t plus 4 to the negative a half. And integrate that with respect to t. So the left hand side now becomes v. Yep. And then on the right hand side I add 1 to the power and divide by new power, and dividing by a half is like multiplying by 2, and multiply by divide by this thing differentiated. This thing differentiated gives me 1, but dividing by 1 has no effect. So now I will add c, and now I need to pop in some initial conditions. So looking at the top of the question, they told me when t is 0, is at the origin, so x is 0. That doesn't help me here. Maybe it will later on. But v is 8. So popping in t is 0 and v is 8 into here, I get 8 is negative 2 times negative 2, which is negative 4. Here I end up with 0 plus 4 to the half, so 4 to the half, which is 2, plus c. So I end up that c is 16. And now I just need to pop this in here and write out what the velocity is, and hopefully it's going to end up like this. So therefore the velocity is c, which is 16, minus that negative 2 times 2, so I end up with 4, t plus 4 to the half. And I can just see that that is the same as that. Phew! So now I've got those first 5 marks. So now in part B, I'm being asked to find the distance of p from O when p comes to instantaneous rest. So I know that the velocity is this, so I know that instantaneous rest means that the velocity is 0, and that happens when this expression gives me 0. So in other words, I will have 16 will equal to 4 multiplied by t plus 4 to the half. So if I divide both sides by 4, and then square both sides, and then subtract 4 from both sides. So I know that the velocity will be 0 when t is 0. Now, if they are asking me for the relationship between x and something, then I need to write this velocity in a different way. Now, velocity is equal to dx by dt. And so if I write this expression, I have 16, or I can take a factor of 4 out. And now I can separate and integrate. So I would have integrate the left hand side, integrate the right hand side with respect to t over there, and with respect to x on the left hand side. So now actually doing the integration, then I end up with, on the left hand side, x. Here I've got this 4, and here 4t minus t plus 4, add 1 to the power, divide by new power, and dividing by 3 over 2 is the same as multiplying by 2 over 3, and then I have a constant to add. And so now I need some initial conditions with x and t. Now, when I was looking at part A, I made a note that they told me when t is 0, x is 0. So when t is 0, x is 0, so therefore I get that 0 is equal to 4 lots of 4t minus 2/3 t plus 4 to the 3 over 2, plus my constant. And now I can rearrange this. So, oh sorry, t is 0. So this bit disappears. That would disappear. So here I would end up with 0 is 4 multiplied by negative 2 over 3 multiplied by, here I get 4 square rooted, which makes 2, cubed makes 8. So therefore I get that d is 8 times 8, so 64 over 3. Okay, and then popping that value of d back into my expression of x here, then I get that x is going to be equal to 4, open bracket, 4t minus 2/3 t plus 4 to the 3 over 2 plus 64 over 3. It's not particularly neat, but what do they want? Find the distance of find the value of x when it comes to rest. Now we said it comes to rest when t is 12, so now I can pop my value of 12 into here, into t. So when t is 12, then I end up with x is 4 lots of 4 times 12 is 48 usually, minus 2/3. Here I get 12 plus 4 is 16. 16 square rooted is 2. No, it's not, it's 4. 4 cubed is 64. And then I've got 64 over 3. So at this point, I'll now just pop everything into the calculator. And so I get, let's start here, 48 minus 2 over 3 times 64. That gets multiplied by 4, and plus another 64 over 3, so in other words doubled. And so I end up with 42.6 recurring. So I could either write 42.7, or I could write 43 meters if you prefer. Okay, so that part of the question is worth 7 marks. I hope you found this answer helpful. Good luck with your studies.